Hello everyone, this is Korath Landwalker, and tonight, another exciting episode in Star Trek Online, which is being slow. There we go. Sometimes I forget that I need to click on that scene on my Streamlabs OBS to bring it up promptly. Oops. In any event, here we are with the character Zidane, a Klingon recruit, as you can tell by this catchy symbol right here, who gets special benefits for completing certain goals. He's got a long way to go for his next one, but who knows, maybe tonight he'll be able to unlock another one. Let's get right into it. Let's just close that screen. So, first, before we kick things off, let's do our little administrivia as usual. Duty officer assignments await, and we should clear them out. First, get the engineering on. Actually, let's complete the duty officers too, because maybe I'll have another research assistant available. Ah, Marauder. A new rank. I believe this gets me to Tier 1 in Marauder. Yep, Marauder 1. Getting to Marauder 4 is one of the goals for the Grand Klingon recruitment. Whether or not I actually get there is still going to be an open question, because it's a long way to go. But it ain't going to be for lack of trying. Now, because of this, I can go to the store and grab one of these recruits. It's got to be for marauding, because I don't have the tokens to grab anybody from the other categories at this time. I just have one for the marauding one. And you'll notice that unique among the various recruitments, these are all Starfleet Federation species. That's right. They aren't necessarily the kind of individuals who fit well with others. And they have little quotes on each of these guys. I've tried to do things the Federation way. It didn't work out. I was hoping to find a research lab guy in here, but alas, that doesn't look like it's going to happen. So I'm going to grab this con officer, and the reason for that is if I equip him, he'll give me a chance to reduce the evasive maneuvers ability. And that's a big deal, especially if you're flying a battlecruiser. So, Janice, welcome to my crew. In fact, let's make sure you're dealt with now. Janice is now part of the ship, part of the crew. Or is it part of the crew? I can never remember how that went. Props to folks who recognize the reference. And we're just going to grab the rest of these things. Now, if I recall correctly, one of these missions involved possibly a new bridge officer. And I got a good one, apparently. Purple quality.
Congratulations, Commander.
Ooh, and I leveled up. Awesome. You are going to, we're not going to grab you right away because, well, I do have room, don't I? And honestly, I wasn't paying as close attention as I should have, because I'm not entirely sure. Engineering. Okay. Well, you know, engineering is engineering. We'll say not now. I want to make that decision later on, but you are probably going to be earning a spot sometime. Okay, let's go to the R&D first. Engineering is what I'm working on, because engineering is going to allow me to improve certain consoles that are desirable to me, as well as even more importantly, warp engines, impulse engines, that sort of thing. So it's in my interest to do well in engineering so that eventually I'll be able to create upgrade kits, not to mention, the equipment. But unfortunately, with only one research officer, that's going to go very slowly. In the meantime, we're going to do some of the marauding stuff. And I want to do marauding again is going to be the priority. And it's got to be the priority because that's the one that the Klingon recruitment is looking at. And after that, it's anything goes, so. We're just going to grab whatever missions I can and go from there. After all, anything that opens up more duty officers, that can be considered a positive impact. Especially as noticed earlier, if we do well enough and get those successes, we can increase our experience points and work our way further into the leveling experience. Finally, well, I did get the skills, didn't I? Currently a commander, and we're currently plowing through the tactical, and we are ignoring everything else until I wrap up the tactical path. As you can see, I've gone hardcore, all the way tactical. Well, okay, a couple engineering, that was because I filled up my slots. That will allow me to also train Torpedo Spread 3, which will be very helpful. Well, maybe not, because right now I'm kind of happy with the Beam Fire at Will. But this slot, okay, that's an engineering and intelligence. Yeah, that's not going to do me any good. It's astounding how little I actually use my ability to train bridge officer abilities. And primarily that's because you're only able to train the commander and lieutenant commander slots. And, well, you usually don't have too many... Well, actually, beam... that might actually be a level 3 skill. Torpedo Spread 3. Torpedo Spread 3. Let's scroll over to here and see if I have Torpedo Spread 3. Okay, well, this is... Well, then again, it's still replacing my fire well. That's the hazard of using a battle cruiser for my primary ship. It has more engineering slots than it does tactical slots, and, well, it causes these little problems. I'll deal. Alright, with all that in mind, last week we continued involving ourselves in the affairs of the Romulan Star Empire, and specifically with the Riemann Resistance. The commander, Zidane, has made common cause with Obasek, although the Klingon Empire itself disagrees and doesn't want anything to do with it. So, what do you think is likely to happen next? Let's find out.
My contacts tell me that the Empire has rejected my request for military assistance. That is regrettable, but not unexpected. The Tal Shiar are formidable opponents, as are the forces directing their action. I understand if the High Council is reluctant to engage in a battle that is not theirs. So today I appeal to you, not as a comrade in warfare, but as an honorable warrior. My people need your help.
Oh, he knows how to push the buttons, doesn't he?
I need your help. One of our ships was carrying a load of Thaleron weapons through the Nopada system. That ship has disappeared.
Are you serious?
There are no indications there was a battle. It's as if my ship and its cargo simply vanished. I know you have your reservations about the lengths to which I will go to secure the freedom of my people. Tell me, If you do not trust me with Thaleron weapons, do you want Hakiv to have them? I can provide you the last coordinates of the vessel. Please help me. Do what you will with the weapons, if they survive. But find my people.
Now there's a guy who knows his priorities. You gotta respect the guy who says, damn the equipment, save the lives. If I might be kind of alluding to a recent movie that came out, it's very Atreides of him. So, we get our usual trifecta of experience points, expertise, anti-lithium ore, and a Riemann prototype covariant shield, which is, quite honestly, one of the best shields in the game. I swear I'm using this particular shield for a large portion of the game. I mean, there are top-end shields that sometimes I feel aren't as good as this. And that's without upgrading it. That kind of tells you something about this shield. One of these days I ought to try upgrading it just to see just how good it can get. Because if it's this good at Mark 6, imagine what it'd be at Mark 10, Mark 12. Higher?
The Riemann resistance is very much in need of your help.
Very intriguing, isn't it? So, Nopada. Where is Nopada? Nopada is actually right next door, so why don't we just take our leisurely stroll there. Just take a look at that Klingon D7 battle. Well, okay, it's more like it's actually the Katinga variant, but at least the skin is the Katinga variant. This is the legendary D7 cruiser, which is why I have tier 6 capabilities, although they have to unlock as I level up. But that allows me to use the classic Klingon battlecruiser for virtually the entirety of my character's career. I had to go through the tutorial to claim this, so I did have to start out in the same bird of prey as everybody else. But after that, classic D7 battlecruiser all the way, a personal favorite of mine. And I will never, ever get tired of saying that. No new missions available here. So we're just going to have to live with that for now. Nopada 1. More than 60% of the landmass on Nopada Prime is classified as desert. The most temperate areas of the planets. Why do they have this plural if they're talking about... Don't get me started again. Don't get me started again. Are on the coast of the Takar Ocean, but violent tides makes most of this land uninhabitable. The fauna of Nopada Prime have adapted to life on this harsh planet, where daytime temperatures can soar to more than 48 degrees Celsius. I'm not entirely sure how that translates in Fahrenheit, but come on, if it's desert, it's gotta be freaking hot. Coliseum remains one of my personal favorite missions in Star Trek Online. Even though it has some areas that are kind of wearing, and moments where you just want to slap people silly. More on that when it happens. I like so much about it. And we'll go into more as we go along. Sadly, it's also a mission with a few bugs in it, and I will point those out as we see them as well. Commander, I'm not reading any active vessels on scanners. There is, however, a debris field nearby. It's clustered around a satellite in orbit of the planet, and the composition of the debris corresponds with ships that have gone missing in this region. I'll keep scanning, sir, but we'll need to take a closer look before I can determine if there are Thaleron weapons on one of the hulks. Yes, I always gotta get myself in the right vocal mindset for the Gorn. I try to model him a little bit off of Cetas for the Klingon diplomat. And yes, I'm scanning another harvestable. This isn't Admiral Tillel, the Romulan, who's like but basically has a squirrel attitude towards that side sort of thing. But all the same, I'm not going to ignore it when it's right there. Let's scan that ship. Commander, I'm not detecting the vessel that Obisek sent us to find, but all of the ships in this debris field show signs of being affected by the same thing. A high-frequency energy beam that overloaded all of their systems. If the Reman's ship was hit by that beam, it might have crashed into the planet's surface or gone adrift somewhere else in the system. I am detecting energy readings from the satellite, sir. If the Reman crew detected them as well, they could have tried to use it to record a distress signal. We'll need to be closer before I can attempt an uplink with the satellite communications array. Well, let's see what it has to say. Ah! I think we just found the high energy thing. Commander, we're stuck. This beam is holding us like a fly in a spider's web. We've managed to keep life support and environmental systems active, but almost everything else is offline. Shields, weapons, engines, nothing works! I'm not detecting any life signs on the satellite, sir, but there is a compartment with life support. The systems operating the beam must be automated. The chief says we have enough power in the backups for one transport. Recommend we send a team over to that satellite and find a way to turn the beam off. Ready to beam over to the satellite on your orders, sir. Which brings us to our cast. Valera, my current tactical expert. How long she keeps the job, who knows. Thrak, the doctor. And he might actually keep his job because I just love doing his vocal interpretation here. Siege, my alien scientist. And Valkrav, my current chief engineer. Sooner or later, some of these people are going to be, quote-unquote, reassigned. Captain. Why is Chagrin telling me this when he's not here? Nope, not going there. The consoles here appear to control the beam that is draining power from the Salah. But there is a security lock preventing access. We need to find a usable console. Well, we have a bunch of usable consoles here. Incidentally, you'll notice I'm carrying here a handy Batleth. A Batleth that is available to me because this is a Klingon recruit. In fact, one thing I did not check was... Ooh! Boy, I didn't check this at the end of last week, and I'm glad I checked now, although I can't make use of it immediately. I got the new trait, Warrior's Blood. If I equip this trait, it gets a stacking bonus to critical chance up to 2.5% and a 5% bonus to critical severity when the bonus is maximized. I like. Let's claim that. So now I need another 500, less than 500, melee kills in order for me to gain my final upgrade to the Batleth Stovacor, which will also have the handy benefit allowing me to use it on all characters on the account. And yeah, next time we're over at Kronos, we'll go into details about that. Nothing new on my cloaked ambushes. I'm still a long way to go there. I need to cloak and kill more often. I'm holding off on these guys still. I'm holding off until near I get to the high-end equipment because they'll give me equipment and I'm pretty sure they'll be level specific. So if I claim them at that time, things may go better for me. And all the other things are still kind of in progress. Again, we're talking more equipment related stuff. And I've claimed this one. I've claimed this one. I've claimed this one. I might start holding off on some of these. Let's move you to my candidate roster. I really do need to get off my hind end and sell off some of this junk at some point. Oh well, back to business. No, that console's not going to work. And that console's not going to work. Well, I can see we're going to have to wander around a bit, aren't we? Oh, this console doesn't appear to be locked like the others. Whoever did this must not have thought that this console, used for inventory control, was important. I think I can access a back door into the rest of the satellite's programs from here. I see the problem. The Romulan consoles are causing a lockout by forcing the satellite's primary processors to run through a series of equations and removing key bits of information from the answers, which causes the processors to lock up. If we can solve the equations and input the correct information directly into the consoles, the security lock on the satellite's controls should be released. I've downloaded the corrupted equations onto this console for you to work on. Well, I got more pride than having to check with my bridge officers on this, so we're just going to do the math. Luckily, I've kind of already done some of it previously, so being the kind of guy who takes notes, I'm just going to zip through these things. Well, zipping being kind of a relative term, because if I hit the buttons too quickly, it triple goes and hoses my work. But really, anybody with a pocket calculator can work this out. Much less a computer. And honestly, if you're playing the game, by definition, you've got a computer. Actually, now that I think about it, there are people who play the game on console now, so don't bother me with these minor technical details. Okay, next one. Luckily, again, same difference. I've done the work beforehand, mainly because I didn't want to have to go through this rigmarole every time I did this mission. See what I mean about triple? And last one, lock. The good news is this is the last set. That's a good thing because this is going to be a pain in the butt. And it is complete. Captain, we saw the equations that were causing issues in the other consoles. Now we need to plug these correct values into the console controlling the security lock, and then we should be able to access all of the satellite's major operations. Awesome. Let's get to it. Let's go this way first. Ooh. Again, I'm not going to ignore a harvestable when I'm walking right over it. Sedan is not Tell-El and is not hopelessly attracted to shiny things. But when you stumble over opportunity, for heaven's sake, take the opportunity. Okay, we've unlocked consoles, and these seem to be targeting. Captain, this console controls the satellite's targeting functions. I'm not sure if there's a way to disable whatever it is that is disabling systems on our ship, but if we can get the satellite to target something else, we might have a chance of prying our ship free. Alright, well, sensors. We're detecting us. Let's expand this range as far as we can. New object. Derelict Hulk. Well, isn't that interesting? Let's identify it. Disabled, Derelict Hulk, non-functional. Let's reclassify it as active. Yes, this is sounding good, isn't it? Get the telemetric data, please. Yeah, we're going to just let that be. Targeting control. Our priority target is going to be the Derelict Hulk. Nuke it. Commander, the satellite has ensnared a piece of debris near the ship. Its stranglehold on us is weaker, but we're not out of the woods yet. Critical systems are stable, but we still don't have weapons or long-range communication. I guess it was too much to hope for that the first one we fixed would be the one. Let's try this one. Excellent. Captain, this console controls the satellite's general operations. Perhaps we can turn off all of the functions that are affecting our ship. I like that. Change the operational state. Set the operation state to off. Error. Current power usage level is too high. Satellite operational state cannot be set to off at this time. Okay. That sounds to me like we need to check out this other location that's on the map. Let's hit it. Power save modes, priority enter in, and we've gotten the override. Let's use a power generator. This console looks like it controls the satellite's power supply. Since we weren't able to free our ship by targeting something else, perhaps we can decrease the power to the satellite's weapon. Then the Salah might be able to break free. Well, let's see the power save modes. Power user. Yeah, you know what? I don't like that. Save mode never, power allocation full. Let's go to economical, shall we? That sounds like it's even smaller than normal and certainly not power user. Yeah, I like that. Triggered save mode opportunistic, power allocation minimal. Yeah. Main menu, priority values. Okay, targeting seems to be pretty high. Let's reset this factory default, shall we? Commander, we found that if the Salah does not attempt to move or fire at the satellite, that it will engage a low-power version of the beam affecting us. It's almost like an energy-saving mode. Yeah, what a coincidence. We can use that to our advantage. At least we won't have to worry about life support. We'll hold the ship stable and keep working on boosting the power to critical systems while you try to disrupt the satellite's functions and free us. Well, now that we're down to factory defaults and economical power mode, maybe now we can get this thing working. We've already said this one. Oh, maybe not. We've managed to minimize the power output of this satellite. I think if we keep at it, we can switch the satellite's controls over to a sleep mode that will shut down everything but life support and power. Turn it off. Captain, systems are coming back online all over the ship. We have weapons, shields, even the replicators are working again. Transporters are standing by, sir. We can beam you back as soon as you're ready. I am ready. Time to get back to the Salah and find out what happened to the Riemann ship. This is not Salah. Where am I? Not exactly something that screams good vibes, does it? Now what?
If you fail to comply with command,
Now we fight, or we die.
Oh, there's a Riemann. So I think we found out what happened to the
Make
Riemanns.
sure you pick up a melee weapon. All of your gear is deactivated, and I won't protect you in there.
Yeah, protect me. Now we're going to hit one of those bugs I was referring to earlier. You see these areas around here? They should be closed off by a force field. See, I've even got a dialogue here saying, what are those weapons over there?
I've never seen those weapons used before by anyone in the arena. I think the mercenaries who act as the occasional guard thought that those weapons might actually be worth something, unlike the beat-up ones they let us use. My best guess is that they're looking to sell them at some point when their contract here is up for some extra money.
But until we find a way to get past these force fields, those weapons don't really concern us. And see, that's the problem. A bug somewhere along the line got rid of the force fields, which allows me to go over here and pretty much grab whatever I want over here without consequence. Honestly, that offends me. And it's been like that for years. Hey, Cap, how are you doing? Hope things are going well on your end of the monitor today. It's a test to see if you'll do the right thing and pretend the force field is there. They're judging your morals. Well, you know, I'm a Klingon warrior. I don't ignore weaponry. At least not decent weaponry. But this bug has literally been here for years. I'm not even sure they know how to fix it at this point. I'm so cynical. Now, these are the weapons that you would be getting if you didn't already have a melee weapon. And I'm going to grab one just to show you. And I'm going to pick up a bat'leth. Look, a variety of bladed weapons looking very old and well used.
Remember to equip your new weapon.
Yeah, that'll happen. This is a worn Klingon bat'leth. I mean, you know, that doesn't exactly scream confidence. What do you have to do to open it if it were working right? If it were working right, there would be an event that occurs later in this mission that would kind of bring down the force fields due to, let's call it, suitable levels of carnage. At that point, everybody else has more important things to worry about than a Klingon running back to grab that. Needless to say, however, since they did not actually take away my good bladed weapon, my bat'leth of Stovokor, well, if you got it, flaunt it.
Commencing Test 1. Nopadin Desert Akari entering testing area.
Okay, and looks like the Riemann is running way ahead of me. So he's going to be eaten alive by those things unless I chop them up quickly. And I do want to chop them up because, you know, again,
Commencing Test 2. Releasing
I get
warrior
credit for using
now.
the bladed weapons. More importantly, I get credit for bladed kills. So I'd rather be the one to kill them than have the Riemann do it for me.
Proceeding to Test 3.
Now, Test 3 did not used to be the Mugatu. Unfortunately, I can't really remember what they were. I want to say they were the arthropods, kind of like what you see over at Dewa. Giant scorpion things. But I can't prove it. In fact, now that I think about it, I don't think that was them, because I don't know if that was even in the game.
Remain in the area for interrogation. Prisoner, return to holding area. Failure to comply will result in punishment.
Okay, I'll remember you guys. You have me in your cage for now, but it won't last forever. Sooner or later, I'll find a way out. And then it won't be animals that I take out with my bat'leth. Although, now that I think about it, you could qualify as being animals. Certainly you'll be slaughtered like animals. So, back in jail. Not as fine as some jails I've been in, but you know, it is what it is. Ah, he returns. Let's have a chat with him, shall we?
What do you want?
Yeah, who are you?
You want to know my story? I'm stuck here in this prison, just like you. That's my story.
Lovely. Be more specific. How did you get here? Were you working for Obasek?
My name is Slamek. I'm part of a resistance. Perhaps you have heard of it?
Yep, that's him,
About a week
alright.
ago, I was part of a crew ferrying weapons from one base to another. When we passed through this system, a satellite disabled our ship. It drifted into the planet's atmosphere. I activated the emergency transporter, and a few of us were able to transport to safety before the ship crashed.
I think they changed this guy's voice
We
actor.
were looking for shelter and a way to contact our people when a group of soldiers found us. They took us here and kept throwing us into the arena. Now I'm the only
He used to
one
sound a
who
lot
knows.
more whiny.
That is all I know.
What happened to the weapons?
We were transporting a shipment of Theteron weapons. I know that your people will not use them. We do not want to, but our fight is getting desperate. We needed to do something, anything, that would shift the tide of war. Even if that choice was horrific. I jettisoned our cargo as we were entering the atmosphere. The weapons were completely destroyed. I've seen what Dalaran weapons are capable of firsthand. I cannot allow them to contaminate a world not involved in my people's fight.
Oh, that's one thing I don't have to worry about anymore. I know I could, poke him a bit and find out why he didn't fight or anything like that. But, I'm trying to get information from this guy, Insulting him probably isn't going to help matters.
I don't know who was responsible for this place. The trainers and the guards all appear to be mercenaries, without any clue about what's going on. They're paid to keep us in cages and look the other way. The night I was brought in, I was interrogated. There were bright lights in my eyes and a synthetic voice asking me questions. Whoever it was, took care to conceal his identity.
Any idea why they've stuck us in here?
I have no idea what they wanted with us, or why they make us fight. This all seems like some sort of a giant game, but there is no one that stands to be entertained.
Are there other prisoners being forced to fight?
I think there are others. I hear other fights. If there are other prisoners, I have never been able to contact them. We are kept separated and caged, unless we are fighting.
Any way out of here?
The trainers carry key cards. That's the only way I know to get through the defenses.
Ah. Now we're getting somewhere. Think we can get one of these?
Can I trust you?
Really, what kind of question is that? If I say no, I'm cutting off my nose to spite my face. If I say yes, I could be lying. Come on.
I can see that we think the same way, friend. A few years ago, I worked as a bodyguard for a Ferengi merchant. He had a talent for acquiring latinum. And during my time with him...
Boy, was his name Madron?
I was able to lift a key card from one of the trainers during my interrogation. If you help me, I think we can overpower the guards and escape through the main door in the arena.
I think we have the beginnings of a plan here. Unfortunately, we're still locked in. But it won't be forever. And when they do, it's showtime.
If you fail to comply with commands, you will be punished.
Oh, there's punishment coming, but it's not going to be going the direction you think it is. Come get some!
Test scenario 4 activated. A Hala release.
Okay, this might be a little rougher than I originally anticipated.
We need more help! I'll try to free the other prisoners. You fight the worms!
The good news is these guys are nowhere near as big or bad as, say, Shai Hulud. Man, recent movies really have been impacting me lately. Still, it could be worse. They aren't as big as the sandworms of Arrakis. For which I think we can be profoundly grateful. Oh, he just ran away. Oops. I think we just found the one biggest one is the one on Arrakis. Okay, use the consoles. Right, what does it do? Ooh, okay, I approve of disruptor fire. He's still there! Oh good, he went away. Unfortunately, we have even more of the little worms coming up now, so... But on the bright side, I'm getting plenty of opportunities for me to get my melee kills. Uh-oh. I don't like the sound of that. That sounds horribly familiar. Well, maybe not. Nope, spoke too soon. Is this one of the consoles working? Yes, it
Use the
is.
remaining console on the side of the arena to fight the Elder Worm. There's another set of consoles by the metal wall. Use them while the worm is distracted.
Would like to, but my next part of the mission here is actually to free some prisoners.
I've been hit. I can't continue, my friend. You'll need to protect me.
Well, luckily, Slamek doesn't actually need a whole lot in the way of protection, but I see some of the prisoners have already gotten out. They probably shouldn't have gotten out until, you know, I come over here and let them out. Yeah, I opened this door, and there should be... Oh, and there are people there. How about that? Now, it's at this point where ordinarily I'd be able to go back into this door and get the force field opened area. The force field would be gone at this point. I know. I'm grabbing Duranium at the cost of being bombarded by evil, toxic spit. Oh yeah, he can hit me too. Okay, some of you guys are being annoying, so out of my way. Let's get the last defense going. There we go.
The worm destroyed the metal wall. Run! That's our way out!
Now, technically, I could also, at this point, have gone to get the force field protected melee weapons. And you'd only be able to get one, and it's randomly determined. I just lucked out when I grabbed a Batleth as opposed to a Lurpa or a sword. Doesn't matter, because I'm not going to be using either one of them. My Batleth is superior. Well, it looks awfully abandoned in here.
Romulan base? Here? What did they want with us? What is that device?
That is a very good question, but you know what? I'm more interested in what's over here. Disable dampening field. Now that we have some real weapons and disabled his shock collar, we can get out of here. What this means is I've effectively recovered my weaponry. You see, when I'm in this mission, I can only use melee weapons. I couldn't use my kit abilities. I couldn't use my ranged weapons. But now that we've hit this section, it's all re-enabled, so good times are here again. Oh, it's an intriguing looking device. Whatever it may be. Maybe the console over here will have some hints. It appears as if whoever created this lab has rigged controls to an Iconian gateway. Might be able to pull some information off the logs. Well, why don't we? Communications. Our master's patience wears thin, Hakiv. The time grows short, and still you have not provided all the species data that they require. Are you having trouble acquiring targets? I provided you with the necessary technology to modify the satellite in the Nopata system, but your little snare is slow. What we need is more test subjects. Perhaps a small colony world would be enough. I will contact you again to work out the details. That didn't sound too ominous. How about the transport log? 5 destinations. Nopata Base Delta, IRW Leval, Bria 3, Dara 4, and Fahar Listening Post Gamma. Well, we obviously know about Nopata Base, unless this is actually one of a number of bases. Don't know about this. Don't know about Bria. Dara was where the Remans were holed up before they kind of got it hit. And the Fahar system was, well, pretty much the first place we went where we encountered our good buddy Madron. Wonder if we can use the gateway. Biometric system mismatch. Access denied. Gateway shut down in 10 seconds. Yeah, obviously we're not going to be using that to get out of here. Another console. Why don't we see what this console has to say? Project Decimation. New subject. Commander Zidane Zidane. Seriously, guys? Captured from IKS Salah. Initial analysis. Subject's threat level is high, and risk of escape or intervention in testing is elevated. Notify Colonel Hakiv and escalate to level 6 trials. I don't think they like me very much. Test parameters, please. Project goal. To develop the matrix of Alpha Quadrant species, we must determine which species can be pitted against one another for maximum devastating effect to each. Tests will not be limited to sentient species, as the Iconians have technology that will allow us to effectively introduce new flora and fauna to alien worlds. Research observations. Honored Master, it will take some time to complete my report, but I have a few personal observations for you that may prove useful. Please consider them when you make your plans. Humans and Klingons show the greatest proclivity toward fighting when there is no chance of victory. True. Breaking a Vulcan's emotional control will usually render him helpless. They have no ability to process the emotions that they so zealously suppress. Yeah, it sounds like a Romulan point of view right there. Bajorans will fight to the death to defend homes or loved ones, but they may reject a fight that doesn't threaten what they hold dear. Betazoids will detect betrayal almost instantly, but their telepathic senses can be overwhelmed by extreme pain or violent thoughts. This can allow an infiltrator to escape their notice. A possible wedge to break the Klingon Empire may be the Gorn. More than 77% of the Gorn captives chose to help another Gorn before assisting a Klingon, even if that choice resulted in the death of the Klingon. Thrak, I'm gonna be looking at you. Hirogen are formidable in single combat, but their fractured society reduces their threat level significantly. I've been unable to separate a Trill symbiote from its host for separate study. 2 attempts to implant a symbiote in a host from another species have failed. Both the symbiote and the host died within hours. Undine are quite interesting. I request more time to study this race in greater detail. Hey, we got something for Slamek here. Captured along with a small group of Riemann soldiers by Desert Patrol. Interrogation, inconclusive. Recommend use of holographic conditioning. Single combat tests. Subject was wounded on 4 occasions but survived all tests. Recommendation. Prisoner 1478 may be a suitable subject for team testing or alternative study. Forward data to Colonel Hakiv for evaluation. Slamek, I think you just got lucky. Personal log. Now this is where the good stuff will be. They've contacted me again. My associates have 2 tasks for me now. First is the destruction of the Remans. I understand their anger. The Remans are attempting to rise above their station. They're mindless slaves, and they need to respect their betters. Terrace was able to control them after Starfleet captured her. The surviving Remans developed delusions of self-worth. This troublemaker who calls himself Obisek, who is he to tell them that they can be free? Does a beast of burden have the right to choose its own destiny? If the problem were not so irksome, it would be almost comical. I will present Obisek's broken corpse to the Iconians in tribute. They will reward me richly for my loyalty. The second task will take more effort. The Iconians want data. They want the species of the Alpha Quadrant tested until they break. They want to know their weaknesses and how to exploit them. They want to see their strengths and know how to destroy them. I will admit that I take no little pleasure in this task. It will be quite entertaining to make some of those self-righteous humans turn on one another, or push one of those blustering braggarts from Kronos until he begs for death. Oh, and the Vulcans. I will make Vulcans weep, and I will savor each tear. I know of an abandoned coliseum in the Nopata system. We can find a way to lure test subjects there. It will take time and effort, but I am confident I can do what the Iconians want. Okay, well, that seems to be it for the console there. I'm a little bit insulted, but I'm more interested in getting out of Dodge, so to speak. So, luckily, we seem to have a waste extraction tube here. So let's just kind of try to get in there without, wading through garbage.
Watch out. There are Romulus and Scorpion fighters overhead. They're looking for us. We need to move quickly and smartly to avoid detection. I recommend we head to the east. See that mountain in the distance? My ship crashed on the other side. It may have something we can use to signal your vessel. The search for us will only get more intense the longer we stay here. We need to get away from the arena as quickly as possible.
Now, it's worth noting that when this mission came out for the first time, this was effectively the largest map in the game. The largest mission map, I should say. Obviously, the maps at other locations might have been bigger, although it would have been close. But as far as doing missions went, this was the biggest map. And it's probably still pretty high on the list. I guess you could say the adventure worlds these days are bigger, but...
There's a fighter heading straight for us. Quick, take cover in those dark rocks over there, and wait for it to pass overhead.
Wait for it to pass? Okay, I'm using a hand weapon. I'm not using a rifle. Yeah, we'll hide.
Stay still and wait for that fighter to pass overhead. If we are fortunate, they won't detect us.
Fun fact. If they do detect you, you can try to fight it off. And you can win.
They didn't see us. Let's move on.
Alright then.
I can't go on. My injuries from the arena are too painful. We need to find a place to rest for a moment.
Now, we could rest here. Do my feet ever catch on the back of that blade? Well, that's because I have really good shoes. But also, if we take a zoom out here, you'll see that my feet never quite intersect that blade. That's because it's superior Klingon design. When Klingons make weapons, we do our best to make it sure that they don't cut off our own feet. They're meant to decapitate the enemy, not dismember its wielder. Although, if you suck, you could dismember yourself. I've seen some of those bat'leth moves.
Forgive me, my friend. But the pain... I need to rest. Just for a moment. My wounds are agonizing. I fear the worm's venom may have infected me. The pain is excruciating. My vision is blurred. And my blood burns in my veins.
Sucks to be you.
Before we were captured, my science officer said that the local plants here have medicinal qualities. Please, I need your help. Find something to ease my suffering.
Oh,
I need something to
cut off
disinfect my
limb.
wound.
Oh, that.
Something
Okay.
to treat my fever. And anything that will ease my pain. Thank you, my friend. I know that I would have died today if it weren't for you.
Honestly, I thought he was getting ready to ask me for an honorable death. I keep forgetting that he's not a Klingon. This plant has analgesic qualities. It won't be as strong as anything you have in the medbay on the Salah, but it would take the edge off of Slamic's pain. Might be enough to get him on his feet again. This type of plant grows in the shade. Look for it on the sides of hills and cliffs. Let's see this one. This plant looks like it would work as an antipyretic. It should help alleviate the fever. Unfortunately, this particular plant doesn't look healthy and you're not getting much sap from it. you're going to need to find a more robust sample of this plant before you can treat Slamic's injuries. This type of plant likes sunny and windy growing conditions. Look for it on the tops of hills and mountains. Okay, and then we have a plant over here. This plant looks like it would work as a disinfectant. Should be strong enough to clear out whatever infection Slamic might have picked up in the arena, but we'll need more samples in order to deal with an injury like as bad as Slamic's. This is in the washes of the desert. Look for it in large flat areas. Okay, so now that we know what we're looking for, it's time to do a little bit of harvesting. In a more literal sense than the harvesting I do with various minerals and gases and stuff. Luckily, finding 3 of the herbaceous plants, pretty easy. Next one might be a little trickier. Oh, but I see those pods, as well as a cactus, which probably won't help. Only need one of these guys. And now, all the way on the other side there, I gotta get the branch bark samples. Days like this make me miss transporters. And I'm gonna be really hacked off if it turns out that my crew decided to say, "Oh, captain's gone. Can't find him. I'm in charge now." Clearly, I'll have to have a chat with my bridge crew. And I gotta go up and up. Oh, I think I see one in the distance. Oh, I see multiples in the distance. That is kind of the Klingon way, is it not? Yes, yes it is. Still, I'd hoped for better out of them. Still, don't count me out yet. Besides, it's not like I've been a dishonorable Klingon captain, so theoretically they should have a little bit more loyalty to me than that. Theoretically. After all, not all Klingons are all that honorable either. Don't tell anybody I said that. But there have certainly been plenty of Klingons in Klingon history who have been less than honorable. Duras, for example.
Thank you, my friend. I'm feeling better now. I think I can continue.
Excellent. Then let's get moving. The last thing we need is to be cut out here in the open. Oh, it's a nice big canyon over here. Is that people ahead? No, just plants.
Now that we're in the canyon, we shouldn't have to worry about the fighters anymore.
Speaking of harvestables,
The local wildlife. Keep your eyes open.
is he healed now? Well, he's as healed as he's going to get. We use all those medicinal plants and stuff, and well, hopefully it'll be enough to get him to shelter, and hopefully it'll be enough to get him to the wreckage of his ship. And if we can get that far, maybe we can find some way to communicate with the outside world. More specifically, try to contact my ship. Or really, anybody who will get us off this miserable rock. Oh, hi, Salats. More melee kills. Luckily, Slamak doesn't completely suck in a fight. And hey, he's using a bat'leth, so, you know, clearly he's got that going for him. He's not using one of those wacky Vulcan weapons or those simplistic, primitive swords. Of course, you could make a case for him not being worthy to wield the honor blade of the Klingons, but hey, beggars can't be choosers. I just love it sometimes, how you can vaporize your opponent with melee weapons. It's one of the hazards of the game mechanics, but it still never ceases to amuse me. I've set my bat'leth on kill. but it's a bladed weapon. It's always set to kill. Don't bother me with trivial details. So that should be all the critters we have to worry about. Unless something changed when I wasn't looking, which I will never rule out entirely. Then again, with the little bugs like that force field still in the game.
The weather isn't going to hold out for too much longer. We should look for a place to spend the night. I've noticed that there are things we can gather along the way to make our night more pleasant.
Well, I'm more concerned about the morning.
We will not survive the night in this desert. We need to find shelter and safety. If we can scavenge provisions to create a camp, we'll have a better chance of reaching the wreckage of my ship alive.
Such as?
The temperature is dropping. If we don't find warmth, we risk hypothermia. We can't use a phaser on the rocks here to heat them. They're too porous. We will need firewood. Look to the dry plants. If we can collect tinder, kindling, and logs, we will be able to create a fire that will last through the night.
Yeah, well, I don't have a phaser. I do have a... Okay, I've got a Romulan disruptor. Not my preference, but you know, hey. It's more likely to set things on fire than my Okay, I take it back. If my bat'leth is capable of disintegrating people, it might be able to be capable of setting fires. So, I need tinder, kindling, and fuel wood. And incidentally, as you'll notice on the right-hand side here, it indicates tactical. That is a sign that, yes, if I were a science or an engineering officer, I would have a different set of missions. But we're all about getting the wood. I guess it's because, you know, fire, bad. Well, whatever. Oh! It's Shai-Hulud, or at least little Shai-Hulud. Get out of here. Where is he? Where is he? Oh, let's not hang around here. Get wood and move on. Okay, I just need tinder. And you would think that would be pretty easy because tinder traditionally is basically small bits of wood that fire up easy, and well, here we go. Ah, another worm. Die, wormy thing.
That should last us through the night. Let's get into this cave before the temperature drops any more.
Now, it's impressive that he can see the cave from here because, you know, there's no field of... Where the hell is Slamek? I'm going to guess he ran ahead of me because I certainly don't recall him vanishing like that. That's right, Slamek. Make me do all the work. Don't really need to be carrying that in my hands at the moment. And there it is, the cave. And there he is.
The temperature is dropping rapidly now. This cave should protect us from the
Now,
elements.
fun fact, this
done some
dialogue,
exploring.
it used to be implied to be
It looks like
your
this cave
dialogue.
contains When the sun rises side of the mountain, we could save time and energy by using the passage instead of trying to find a path over the mountain. Excellent. The passage saved us hours. This could be a good day. Let's find my ship. My ship isn't far from here. I think I can make out smoke from the wreckage on the horizon.
He's got good eyes, because I sure don't see it. Okay, now I see it.
She wasn't much to look at, but she was ours. When we were flying through space, we were free. Perhaps she can help us one last time.
We can but hope. Now I do want to say that they did a great job on this part of the map, because even without the waypoint indicator on the map, and it didn't used to be there when the mission first came out, I knew exactly where I had to go, because you're just drawn to this opening here that says, hey, come down here. So whoever designed the map and this positioning for the mission, whoever did it should get massive kudos.
We should check to see if the emergency beacon survived the crash. But in the likely event it didn't, we might be able to piece together some components to create a makeshift emergency beacon.
Well, the Klingon method of engineering, for my experience, would be to basically hit it with a hammer until it starts working. Klingon engineers may have a different opinion. Okay, pointing out the Captain Obvious method here first. There is no way this vessel will ever fly again. Thank you, Captain Obvious. The damage done by the fall through the planet's atmosphere is severe. If the emergency distress beacon wasn't vaporized in the crash, it's probably buried under 30 meters of rock and sand like the Singularity Drive in the cargo bays. Do, however, find a backup generator with a minuscule amount of energy left. If only we had the right components, we could construct a makeshift subspace beacon to contact my ship. Won't be anything more than a few pulses, but should work. Sounds legit. So let's go back outside and see if we can scrounge some parts that might actually do what we wanted to do. And we've got communications array here. Let's take some parts. Head down to the other side. And hiding in this wreckage here, we have something pretty reflective. The subspace distortion inverter. Gotta love that Star Trek technobabble. Okay, that leaves... Oh, this looks important. The navigational beacon. Oh yeah, I would have to think that would be pretty important. Now we're going to attach all this stuff to the ship's power source, and we're going to get the heck off this planet. Theoretically. After all, there is still no guarantee that this is going to work at all. Let's go outside and wait for the rescue ship. Those aren't Klingons. These are not Klingons.
Did you think you could run from me? There is no place where I cannot find you. My spies are everywhere. Prisoner 1478, take your place.
What?
You did your job admirably.
What?
It is good to know at least one Raven understands who is the master and who
What?
is the slave.
Slavic,
The loss of
you're
Alyssa
dead.
poses a minor setback. The Freeman's refuge in the Dara system has been destroyed. Dozens of subjects have been tested.
I do love the camera work on this cutscene.
When the Iconians return, they will find I have done all they have asked, and more. But you will not be there on that dreaded day. This tiresome game ends now. You could have been such a fascinating test subject, but this time, no. This time I think a more direct.
And now the most satisfying moment in the mission.
Ready? Aim.
Too slow! This is what happens when you gloat it, ladies and gentlemen. You allow last-second rescues like this. Oh, that always put a smile on my face from the very first time I played this mission to the present day. Admittedly, sometimes their timing on making the transporter effect kick in before the incoming beam weapons come in. Despite Slamic's treachery, that is the last time we actually see him. And that occurs pretty much with all three major factions of the game. Personally, I think Slamic is ripe for a comeback. Now, to be fair, it's more likely that Hakiv simply did him in. But, you know, if you haven't seen the body, I think what Star Trek Online needs is more Slamic. Write Cryptic and Perfect World now and demand more Slamic. Moving on.
I apologize for Slamic's action. I had no idea there was a traitor in our midst. If his actions caused harm to you or your crew, forgive me. That was not my intent. However, your trip to the Nopata system was not in vain. Now you see. Now you know. Hakiv is a pawn of a greater power. The demons of air and darkness are here. You should report to your superiors. Tell them what you have seen here. Open their eyes to the dangers that lurk in the shadows.
Okay, so let's get our trifecta and the Riemann covariant shield.
Congratulations, Commander.
And we have all sorts of good stuff happening here. We've got a new level. Let's take care of the level now. In fact, we got a couple levels here. Cool. So first, continuing my insane mad dash to getting every tactical skill in the book. But now we've got another space point to play with, and I can be more creative. Let's see. Hull plating. Damage resistance. Attractive. Damage control to heal the hull. Shield regeneration. Shield hardness. Definitely one of the hardness guys. Hull plating or shield hardness. And I'm kind of going for shield hardness. And this is the very first science skill I've picked up. Also, we've gotten to a level where I can grab another ground point. So let's continue our weapon criticals improvement. And down here I can choose a type of training. And while I usually go with suppressing fire, I'm going to grab the target optics. It's cute how I think I'm ever going to use those. I almost never make skill books. Probably should somewhere along the line. Also, you'll recall during that mission, I had actually unlocked Warrior's Blood as a trait. So, we're going to remove one of these current ones. And I think we're going to do this bonus hit points. Maybe I'll pick it up later, but right now, I want the Warrior's Blood. More damage with my bat'leth. And now I can hail the Klingon Defense Forces and get a new bridge officer. Now, before I look at my possibilities, let's take a look at who I actually have. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I've got pretty much 2 of everything, so I actually don't care who I get. Conveniently, they're all Klingons. So I can grab a tactical officer. let's take a look at the tactical officer for a minute. And there's a reason for that. I don't really care about the tactical officer in and of himself. But right now, Kagan is using cannon spread ability that is completely useless to me. Antak, on the other hand, he's got something I can use. Oh yeah, and Balera is in the same boat. She also has the scatter shot. But Antak here, he's got target auxiliary subsystems. I like this. I like this a lot. So we are going to collect him as a reward. Oh my god, he looks human almost. I mean, look at him. Ah. Okay, we're going to have to do something about that. You can join. But, oh my god, no. No, no, no. You were going to have a chance, but guess what? I'm going to render you down into soup. Or, to be more precise, I'm going to render you down. Where is he? Oh, he's over here. Ah, nuts. I shouldn't have said accept him. I should have said, I'm an idiot. Because now I have to if I want to get rid of him, I have to discharge him, and I feel like an idiot. Just a bit of an idiot. I should have said not now. Out you go. I don't care. Next time, send me an actual Klingon. Grr! Kicking myself. Let's grab some of these handy missions that have wrapped up on me here. Got a couple new assignments we can roll through. But sadly, none of them look like marauding assignments. But I will take what I can get. First officer, anything new? No? Alright. Just a little irritated with myself, that's all. Not the first time, and it won't be the last. And now, the concluding chapter of the Romulan mystery. Well, yeah, it's the concluding chapter. Cutting the cord.
Klingon intelligence has completed its analysis of the data you recovered in the Nopara system. The Iconians are using the Tal Shiar as a way to influence the Romulan Star Empire. Their persecution of the Remans is directly related to this. They will hound the Remans until they are broken, or until they are too suspicious and beaten to ever trust an ally again. This is a coward's way to wage war. Are they too afraid to face us directly? We will stop these machinations now.
Gotta love the Klingon
We will
viewpoint.
see if these demons are brave enough to show their faces. The data you recovered indicates that Hakeem is operating out of the Breya system.
That makes a certain amount of
Long-range
sense.
sensor scans suggest that there may be a major
But he's
Tal
probably
Shiar
also got a
installation.
warbird out there too.
We want you to infiltrate this system, apprehend Hakeem, and destroy the Tal Shiar base. Hakeem must not escape. He may be the only person who knows how extensive the Iconian influence in Romulan space is.
So you want me to capture him alive? Temek, you're no fun. Okay, rewards. Usual trifecta, experience, expertise, and dilithium. And a couple of interesting possibilities. One is a tractor beam mine launcher. that's actually kind of... You may have seen the Romulan ships drop these occasionally. With this, you can do it too. Or, I can grab a career-specific kit reward. Honestly, as I am flying a battlecruiser right now and hate things that are faster and more maneuverable than I am, this tractor beam mine launcher is looking pretty damned attractive. But it also means I'm going to have to do some thinking about my bridge officer skills, because if I want to take that kind of skill, this kind of equipment, I might want to use a skill that takes advantage of using mines. Because there are some, just like you can have high yield torpedoes and torpedo spreads, there are also mine dispersal pattern skills, which will do interesting things. This will drop 3 mines. With the better dispersal abilities, you can drop more. But that's the future. In the meantime, oh, by the way, you do realize that Obisek was right. You know that?
Hakiv had a working Iconian gateway? Finally, the pieces of the puzzle start to fall into place. We know that the Iconians survived the destruction of their homeworld. Now we know that they are active in Romulan space, and apparently using these gladiatorial combats as a way to test the species of the Alpha Quadrant. Klingon intelligence will analyze the data you recovered from Hakiv's command center. I must confer with Chancellor Jimpok. We have fought one ancient enemy, and one. If the Iconians seek conflict with the Empire, we will destroy them as well.
Now, you may have noticed a minor disconnect in this dialogue with his opening dialogue for the mission. And that's because, originally, these missions for the Romulan Mystery were released 1 week after the other, kind of like an actual series of episodes in Star Trek. So, the first episode was the first week. That was the the Vault episode. Then the next week had the episode with Maderin. Third week had, well, the previous mission we just completed, and this was the 4th week. And in between those weeks, you could talk with Temek and get dialogue similar to this. It wasn't exactly like this, because the whole Iconian thing was still kind of hidden back in the day. We take the Iconian presence for granted nowadays, but back when these missions were introduced, and this was like the first 2 or 3 years, tops, in the existence of Star Trek Online. So there was still a lot of unknowns out there. That's a peek behind the curtain and a look into the past. But back to business. Bria is right next door, but we're going to transwarp there anyway because, you know, it's still faster. And before we do anything, let's just make sure that there's no new map assignments on this map. Just a few people short. But we do still have a couple missions I can grab here. Okay, a mission I could grab here. And got a few prospects here. Ooh, look at all these. A lot of missions here, but the problem is a lot of these missions require me to use 50,000 credits, and well, you can see my credits are like 57,000. So I'm looking for things that don't destroy my pocketbook. That means these 3. And as before, the marauding missions are the ones that I prefer to do because they will get me closer to getting that level 4. And if you look at this overview, only at rank 1, and I need 15,000 more points. And that ain't easy. The tropical world of Bria 3 was once a pleasure planet for the Romulan Star Empire. High-ranking military officers, senators, and nobles flocked, good lord, to its warm oceans and built palatial homes in secluded jungle estates. Scientists and archaeologists studied ruins of an ancient civilization scattered across the planet. After the destruction of the homeworld, however, the estates fell into decay, and the research projects were forgotten. Most of the population migrated to more populous worlds. Rhea 3 was left to quietly decay, and the jungle has reclaimed much of what was once there. And apparently it is about to be ground zero of the final conflict.
We have arrived in the Brea system. Preliminary scans show automated defenses and a handful of Romulan ships, most likely Tal Shiar vessels. If we're going to reach that planet and beam down safely, we'll have to breach the Romulan defenses. The weapons platforms are probably short range, but we must disable the satellites and any enemy ships in orbit, or any away team that we send to the planet will be in immediate danger. Tactically, it would be wise to draw off the ships and engage them separately from the fixed defenses. The Zedenia is prepared to assist you in the attack when you are ready.
Enemy vessel, you are in Romulan space. Leave immediately, or you will be destroyed.
You are so funny! I got a little something for you, and it rhymes with disruptor beams. We'll let Obisek pick on that cannon while I deal with the incoming opponents. Fire at will active. Now that we have targeting information from one of the turrets, we may be able to reprogram some of the sensors to confuse them. Well, let's do that, shall we? And now some of those turrets are on our side. Sound of broken enemy starships. Again, doing my cloak and decloak attack here because I want to get as many ambush victims as I possibly can. What? More opponents coming into high warp? You don't say. Cloak up. Now what I really want is for my fire at will to kick on now. So let's make use of that. That's right, I need a little more distance for the bio. There we go. The bioneural warhead. And the best part about the bioneural warhead, if its target blows up, it looks for a new target. And we have one more little satellite to take care of. We need to get within transporter range of the planet's surface. It is good to be Klingon. Oh, the warhead's still floating around out there. Oops. Ah well. Targets all got destroyed, and that's what
Long-range
matters.
sensors show that Tal Shiar reinforcements are closing on this location. We must be swift. The Tal Shiar base is mobilizing. We need to hurry if we're going to have any chance to find Hakiv and his Iconian connections. I'll meet you on the surface.
Sounds good. Time to beam down. Now you'll carefully note
We have a problem.
I'm the only one
The
who
Tal
beamed
Shiar
down.
are trying to jam transporters, and particle leakage from the strange technology here is affecting our targeting sensors. My scientists can't identify the type of particles yet, but several of my troops are reporting in from different locations. Transporters are being diverted. You're on your own for the moment. My scans show that the Tal Shiar have secured some areas of this base with force fields. You'll have to disable them, or find ways around them. Hakiv will be somewhere well defended, but we have him cornered now.
Okay, so we're going to start blowing things up. Sir, I'm having some trouble getting through all of the interference. Away team members are reporting in from all over. I'll try to keep in contact, sir, and will organize beachhead teams where possible. Once the team assembles, they may be able to use site-to-site transport to provide you with reinforcements. So I'm not completely alone down here, I'm just mostly alone. On the bright side, that means I don't have to worry about people kill stealing. Ah, yes, you have intruders, alright. And he has a bat'leth. Looks like the Tal Shiar are using force fields and construction supplies to choke off access points. They must have detected us in orbit, and they've put the base on emergency lockdown. Our orbital scans show that a lot of these buildings have catwalks and balconies. You may be able to use those to get over some of the walls and barricades. Some of our tactical teams made it to the surface with beachhead equipment. You may be able to get support from them. Romulan ships will be here soon, though, so we'll have to raise the Salah's shields and won't be able to use the transporters. Fight with honor, Commander. Okay, well. And you'll see here is the first area where I can call for support, so let's do that now. And yeah, there's going to be some kill stealing happening, but to be fair, I'm outnumbered, so... I'm willing to let things slide. Although, honestly, if I can get the kill shots, but nope. And there they go. Couldn't stick around, could they? Undoubtedly, there's a lot going on here. That's the first charge, sir. I've downloaded virtual markers to your heads-up display. Now I'll show you where to go to place additional charges. And you'll see right here, virtual guide path. Click the button, and ooh, look. Little arrow beam pointing my way upwards and outwards. Let's get some defensive measures set here. Oh, look! Tal Shiar. Unfortunately, they're about as strong as, well, not much. Did you think an ambush was going to kill me? Sir, Romulans are amassing reserves in multiple locations around the base. The Salah is in synchronous orbit, Captain. We can provide fire support if you supply target coordinates. Oh, I like the sound of that. Let's continue going. Yeah, I don't even need the guide path to tell me where to go here. Oh, there's a fighting going on down there. Ordinarily, I'd like to save them for the bat'leth, but, you know, if I can make life easier for me later by wiping out some opponents now, well, it is not a hard decision to make. Okay, spatial charge number 2. There's another catwalk on the other side of this rotunda. Now, you'll notice over here, we have a little interactable that looks like a Klingon vessel. If I were Federation, it would look like a Federation vessel. If I were Romulan, nope, surprise, it would not look like a Romulan vessel. It would look either like a Klingon or a Federation ship, depending on what faction you chose. At least I'm pretty sure that's how it works. I might be wrong because, you know, I'm old and forget things. But that indicates orbital strike coordinates. Timing's off a little bit there. The beam is supposed to hit before things start blowing up. I view it as shoddy workmanship. They must have used Drake interplanetary manufacturers. I never recommend that. That would be an inside joke. Folks who attend my Saturday streams know exactly what I'm talking about, though. Alright, time to head down and carve some more people up. Preferably this way. Oops, trouble coming in. Call for support. And let's not make it too, let's not let them hog all the fun, shall we? Now, you know, we got a guy giving me reinforcements who's calling targs. I want to know why I can't make my bridge officers call a bunch of targs. I know, it's the way the game was designed, but still. Ah, kill stealer. But I will forgive it. The bad news is we've got more guys over here, and... okay, they actually look like they're doing pretty good on their own. But I'm going to do some kill stealing of my own now. Okay, I think he kill stealed me again. Oh, they've taken out the Romulans. They've taken out the Remans by themselves. Oh, those vermin. Unfortunately for you, I'm a little tougher than your average Reman. I'm a Klingon warrior. And by the time I'm done with you, you will be sorry you ever made an enemy out of the Klingon Empire. Or you would be sorry if it weren't for the fact that you're all dead. These are the little hazards you get from irritating the Klingons. Okay, last charge. Time to scan for Akiv. Hakiv's in the promenade outside of a building southwest of your location. But you're separated from him by one of those force fields. There's an access gate on the walkway, but you'll need to disable the force field. If you create a massive power draw to one of the other large facilities, it should temporarily disrupt the field. If you get back on the rooftops, it will give you a better vantage point. Back upstairs. And I'm not sure which way to go from here. Left or right? Righto. Oh, what's this? Roy, did he just shoot himself? Well, the bad news is whoever is definitely not one of our people, so I'm going to start shooting him with my own weaponry. If you can manage to destroy this Scorpion fighter, you do get an accolade for it. Accolades don't really mean a whole lot, but hey. Yeah, I tried to throw my grenade at him. Well, he's got no more hull. Or so it would appear. Come back here! Fight like a Klingon! Oh, that was annoying. Oops. I guess that's not so annoying. Now, you'll notice over here I've got something that went red here. You could have done something about it if you went to a terminal and fiddled with it, if you were an engineering captain. But on the other hand, an engineering captain wouldn't have been able to turn those plasma turrets in orbit against each other too. So see, once again, the various professions all get something to do during this mission. I'll point out the science one once we get there. Now there's another fun thing over here too. Let's kill the power drain. Sir, Hakiv's in a reinforced section of the base. You'll need an access chip or else the doors won't open. We're reading a forward observer team on the highest building in your area. If you can get to the officer's access chip, that should allow you to get into the heart of the base. Now you'll notice that some guys have beamed in over there, but you can wipe them out a lot easier if you blow up that fighter. Shooting Romulans in a barrel. Man, that was just an evil accolade. Okay, following the guide path again, we're going to go back to Battlefield again. Okay, that's what I thought. Kind of was second guessing myself as to what route to take. Now, sadly, you can't jump over the sides here. There are the famous invisible walls, which I have expressed my loathing for on any number of occasions. My opinion has not changed. Ooh, Orbital Bombardment area. Who do we strike down next? Ooh, that's a pretty big, nasty turret, isn't it? And look, a bunch of Romulans. I guess we won't have to worry about those guys anymore. Death from above. Gotta love some of these accolades. Now, as we run up here, I should be seeing momentarily call for support. And I'm going to want support because there are a number of Romulans up here, and they're going to cause problems. Or at least they would cause problems if I were anything other than a Klingon warrior. This guy is supposed to fall down. Clearly I didn't hit him hard enough. You should be able to use the officer's ID chip to bypass the security lock on the access gate in front of the central plaza. Hakiv is directing defense operations from there. And there you have it. The location of the bad guy. It's time to locate Hakiv and put an end to him. Permanently. Oh wait, I'm sorry. I was supposed to capture him alive. Ah! Why do our spies do this to me? Ooh, that sounded impressive. Saw something explode over there. Let's go back to hand beam weapons and see if I can give a helping hand from a height. Looks like most of the bad guys are already down. Oops. I'm in this section with Hakiv's personal offices. Should be just ahead. Excellent. Oh, so sorry. I didn't mean to shoot you in the back. What can I say? You were in the wrong place at the wrong time. Oh, wait. Is that another Romulan? Gotta get myself another melee kill. Oh, 2 of them. Oh, beautiful. I love it when I can disintegrate these guys with a melee weapon. It makes no sense, but I love it anyway. We have a problem up here, Commander. Over the past few minutes, the ship has started to suffer a series of cascading system failures. It's nothing serious yet, but it looks like we're being hit by an Iconian virus. We'll purge the computer memory and restore from archives, but that will take some time, and we'll continue to have system problems until the work is complete. Even if it works, Hakiv can simply send another virus our way. You need to find and destroy the Iconian transmitter before the Slav will be secure, sir. Pressure, pressure, pressure. I tell you, it's... what's this? We seem to have a little bit of a meeting up here.
None of this matters. We just need to open the gate, bring the Iconians here, and it will be over.
That was Taurus's.
Well, well, well. Ladies and gentlemen,
Saw how that ended.
Empress Sela of the Romulan Star Empire.
Victory is within our grasp.
You call this victory? It's over. This is done. You're done.
No, we can still finish.
Ooh, someone's been right-swiped.
You're the cause of all
Or to
of
the
this.
left. I'm not a Tinder guy.
You don't even understand what you walked into. You're too late to stop it. A lowly being such as yourself cannot even recognize the true power.
You know, Hakiv, the last time you gloated this long, I got away.
Any future will depend on a place in their regime.
I'm just
All
saying.
you've done is arrive in time for the end of existence as you know it.
Yeah. I beg to differ. Let's see how you do with a few of my handy Klingon warriors doing what they do best. And I want to take out some of these small fry because Well, hey. They're melee kills. And speaking of melee kills, allow me to hit you with my bat'leth 5 or 6 times, and... I do need to make you live, though, don't I?
Fool, I can call as many reinforcements as I need.
Not now. My ship has put an interference field around this plaza. It's over.
Sucks to be you, Hakiv.
You think you've stopped me?
Yes, actually.
The Iconians already know. They know everything. They'll be here soon. And nothing you've done will make a difference. It's not over. It's over for you.
Hey now. Obasek. I was going to be bringing him in for questioning. Ah. That cutscene actually used to be a little bit different, and it was a lot more impressive. It was almost kind of like a tragic figure ending. Of course, that was before Hakiv became the main figure of the Romulan Republic storyline, and you wanted him just to die. Still, I kind of miss it. But that's one of the little details you have to deal with when you're in a game that's over a decade old. Missions evolve. And worst of all, I didn't even get credit for the melee kill on him.
The road to Riemann independence will be long and bloody, but this is a significant step. While I do not seek your approval of my methods, the crossing of our paths has been fortuitous. It's a pity you cannot aid us further in our liberation. You have my respect, and the respect of my crew. If in the future we encounter one another again as allies, I would find this gratifying. I must return to the Zenidia. I recommend you finish what you came to do and leave quickly.
Fair enough. We have located the Iconian computer systems. They're in a research room near the courtyard, just back the way you came. Okay, that's easy enough. Now, if I were to go left here, you can get into these research areas. And back here, if I were the kind of person who had science skills, like right down here, I could deploy a worm to overwrite the Iconian computer virus. Sadly, though, I do not have that capability. We will have to deal with the virus a different way. Over here we have... oh, look. Now here's another fun fact. This didn't used to be a cutscene. It used to be just the Romulan there was actually doing his thing with everybody here. And sometimes, if you were fast enough, you could kill that Romulan before they got through the gateway. It didn't actually mean anything, but, you know, it was fun to say, I did it. So I'm going to have to content myself with just nuking the gateway. There will be no more reinforcements coming in here. And I'm going to need an exit, please. Oh my. The arch is a huge Iconian gate. Learn something new every day. Sir, we have your coordinates, but we can't beam you up until the gate is destroyed. We're getting strange interference. We are prepared to destroy the large Iconian gate with an orbital bombardment. We'll target the warhead yield, but you should get to an area away from the blast. Okay, so run. No, not that way. Run this way. Good thing that gate turned back off, wasn't it? It would have been awfully embarrassing to run into who knows where. And look, another Klingon ship symbol. It's more bombardment. Yeah, it's one gate that'll never bother anybody again.
Is here with her flagship. I'm trying to hold her off, but the Zedenia is no match for a ship of that class. You'd better return to your vessel quickly.
That's a bad sign. But on the bright side, more opportunity for those cloaked ambush kills.
of the Romulan people. This insurrection will not stand. Your hostile action against the Romulan colony world are acts of war. Surrender now, and you and your crews will be treated fairly.
Not happening.
Cut out. I will assist you. After all, we face the common foe.
Alright then. No sense in taking our time with it. So I'm basically going to hit everyone and everything. I have no idea what ability that was. Okay, photonic shockwave. Oh, right. And, ooh, look. IRW Live All. We saw that back at the Coliseum. Foreshadowing. And it seems to be the only ship left in the fight. And it just cloaked. That's annoying. Well, guess what? I can cloak too. There you are. And we're going to actually be smart and use some of my intelligence abilities. Yeah, I would be hitting on the wrong side. Now you will notice...
This is your last chance to surrender. The full force of this dreadnought will be turned against any who persist in this.
Yeah. I don't think so.
Resist, and you will face the full might of the Romulan
Sensors are reading the
Star
gate opening.
Empire.
There's a ship coming through. Can't get a sensor lock on it.
That's right. We have an Iconian gateway and a freaking asteroid too.
They're taking the Leoval in tow. They're heading back through the gate.
Now, amusingly enough, this Iconian ship, it used to be a different design because they had actually designed an Iconian fleet as far back as, oh gee, let's see, subtract about 11, maybe 12 years. A long time ago. Let's say a decade ago, they didn't know. Did Sela just escape, or was she kidnapped against her will? Regardless, this gate is deep in Romulan space. It's too risky to leave it in Tal Shiar control, even with Hakiv and the Empress gone. I agree completely. And since we can't take our frustrations out on Sela, well, there's only one thing left to do. I have no idea if I can actually do what I'm about to try to do here, but I wonder if I'll get credit for killing the weak points with the ambush. Unfortunately, I can't get close enough. If that was another Iconian gateway, that explains how they moved entire fleets. We have to get out of Romulan space and warn the homeworld. The Romulan threat may be over for now, but it looks like a bigger threat is looming on the horizon. Things to look forward to, right? Now it's time to call Temek.
The Klingon Defense Force will continue the search for Sela's vessel. But as of right now, we have no idea where the Iconians took her, or if she went willingly. I find this turn of events disturbing. Sela's absence will throw the Romulan Star Empire into even greater chaos. And we have found that the Romulans are at their most dangerous when they are wounded. They suffered a grievous wound today. We are not done with them yet. I fear the return of the Iconians will change everything.
Worry wort. In the meantime, we're going to grab that tractor beam mine launcher.
Congratulations, Commander.
And mention that the Iconians are a threat to the Empire.
I agree. The Iconians are a cause for concern. Their motives are still unknown to us, as are their plans for the Quadrant. What we do know is that they desire chaos. Many of the problems we currently face can be directly traced back to their machinations. If they had not antagonized the Undine, would we be at war with the Federation today?
Now, technically, we shouldn't even
They
know that part
push
yet.
us into battles that drain our resources. They fracture the powers of the Quadrant so that no one will be able to stand against them when they finally arrive. They must be stopped. I do not fear these demons of air and darkness. Let them come. The Empire will defeat them.
Agreed. And now, the epilogue.
I have been in contact with the Remans. The High Council wishes to seek an alliance with them. I do not necessarily agree, but it is not my place to question the will of the Council. Obisek has asked to speak with you. You can meet his ship in the Hakona system. You fought well. Continue to bring honor to your ship and your fleet, and you will be one of the heroes of the Empire. Kappa!
Working on it. And we'll get a modest amount of XP and expertise for that. Which is understandable since, you know, it's a pretty easy mission. So we'll just zap ourselves over there. No need this time to go in a shuttlecraft. In fact, no need to even go to the vault.
I fight for my people. We will be free.
Why have you returned to the vault?
Our base in the Dara system was heavily damaged by the Tal Shiar. We have reactivated the vault, and we will continue to rebuild it. A place that was once used to create weapons of war will now be a home, where all are welcome. We will be free.
And aren't there some Romulan refugees there?
I have no quarrel with them. My people fought for freedom and for peace. We can learn to live with the Romulans if they will learn to live with us.
Oh, if you only knew what the future held for you, Obisek.
We will be free.
Any word on what happened to Sela?
I do not. I know the Romulan military is searching for her, but there have been no indications of where the demons took her, or what their plans for her are.
What race is this guy? Obisek is a Reman. The Remans were introduced in Star Trek Nemesis, which was the last of the Next Generation films. It was not exactly a well-received movie. Possibly somewhat justified so. But the Remans kind of performed a little bit of a military coup against the Romulans at the time. And that went about as well as you might expect. Which is probably one of the reasons why they were basically being downtrodden all the way up to getting to this point. But now we are on the cusp of something new. This is one of the seeds of a future Romulan republic.
We will be free.
Was Sela working with the Iconians?
My instincts tell me no, but I have no proof. Sela was at odds with the Tal Shiar. I do not think it would have been so if they served the same master.
I don't know. Romulans have been known to be a little tricky.
We will be free.
What are the Romulans doing now that Sela's disappeared?
The petty arguments and plays for power Sela crushed have begun anew. There are dozens.
Are they the
who wish
ones
to
in the
rule
movie where
Empire.
Picard has an evil
It will
double?
take some time
Something
before
that
a
started
new leader arrives.
with an N, I
Until
think.
then,
Yes, it was. Like I said, Star Trek Nemesis. And that was Picard's, it's hard to call him a clone because he sure didn't look like the younger version of Picard, but he was the clone of Picard.
we will be free.
Now here's a little section that makes no sense whatsoever because it says, one of your resistance fighters is asked to join my crew. But the problem is, that's only available at, well, let me rephrase that. Once upon a time it was only available if you did the mission during a certain period of time. Originally, it was one of the big rewards for completing the arc when it first came out as a featured episode series. Then there were a couple instances where you could do the mission and get them again. Now, The only way to get them is via the Zen store under the mud stuff for a certain amount of Zen. But on the bright side, if you do it there, it becomes an account unlock, which means all your characters can, as opposed to, you know, picking away at each character you run at a time. But since it didn't actually happen, we're not going to use that option for lines. We're going to ask, what are you going to do now?
My people are free, but there is much more to do. The Romulans hate and fear us, and we do not have a planet to call our own. I do not think our fight is over.
Ah, but he has no idea what the future holds for him. No more questions.
I would welcome the chance to fight by your side again.
Congratulations, Commander.
Captain, Nobisek transported something for you to the Salah. He says that he wanted to give you something to remind you of old friends and new beginnings. I've taken the liberty of having the item moved to the crew lounge. You can see it there. Well, first, wouldn't you know it, that actually gave me another level. So I've picked up a few levels here. We'll go with the shield hardness, and then we're going to start putting some hull plating up. Let's see, ablative or energized? Energy or kinetic? Energy. And I've got a new ability here. I'm not going to be using the hanger, so it's going to be battery expertise. I should probably use my batteries more often than I do. I suck. And I'm one level short of level 29. Ooh, that stings. Let's see if I have any more duty officer missions rolling here. I do not. And what we're going to do, since they were talking about floor trophies, we're going to go onto my starship bridge. And I'm pretty sure that I have a standard interior to work with here, so we're going to take a brief walking tour of a Klingon battlecruiser. Actually, it's the walking tour of any appropriately sized Klingon interior that could be used for any generic Klingon ship. But why not? Nobody ever looks at these things, so I choose to do so now. So, we're familiar with the bridge. We've been here before. We went to the ready room, we did our thing. But we're going to take a turbo lift and go to a different deck. And we're going to start with the engineering deck. And it's awfully crowded in here. Of course, when everything spawns in here like this, it's not surprising. If I hang a right and go this way, I run into the transporter room of the Salah. And I can also change from using a large craft to a small craft here. This more or less became obsolete once you could do it from your character sheet. On the other side, run, 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 run. We have the engineering office, and that's where we have a scientist here. And you can actually build certain stuff here, including special projects, which would involve playing with alien artifacts, which could come from a duty officer assignment, a data sample analysis, or you can do stuff with tribbles. Now, why a Klingon would want to have anything to do with tribbles, I don't really know. And it also costs some dilithium to make this kind of thing here. Only 5, but still, it kind of rankles. I'm not actually going to do that, I just wanted to show what it did. Now we're going to run to the north side, so to speak, into the main engineering area. And it's big. Really big. And I don't know if the size of the interior has anything to do with it or if it's just dumb luck. Talking to the engineer, we have engineering assignments, or you can get assemble prototypes. Oh, I wonder if they actually have, what if I wanted to make an acquires? Okay, the plans do have a use. How about that? I thought they got rid of that. Ah, bedtime for you right now, Cap? Not a problem. You take it easy. Sleep well. Catch you next time. I did not realize those plans actually were usable anymore. Learn something new every day. And I don't think there's there's someone over here, the operations officer. And the operations officer might have an interesting bit of missions available. Again, we've got special projects, and they can do the holodeck performance of Hamlet. And it basically requires a bunch of people doing their thing, and apparently 20 entertainment rations, which I don't actually have. How did I miss that? I've got rations for everything else except entertainment. But if you do really well, you'll get a Shakespearean... If you get a critical success here, you can get a Shakespearean duty officer who's basically a hologram. I've never actually tried to get all of them, but I like to point out the interesting and unusual. And that's our engineering deck. More to the point now, we're going to go to the crew deck. And that requires me to run all the way back to the turbo lift. Crew deck. Now, there's a number of interesting locations over here. We're going to go to the right side first. Now, we've got a couple dead ends over here. Nothing I can do about those. But over here, we have the captain's quarters. And it's not nearly as pleasant as the Federation quarters, but let's face it, I'm a Klingon warrior. We don't do fancy quarters. At least I'm pretty sure we don't. I'll be embarrassed if I run into another set of quarters and it turns out to be the captain's quarters. I don't think so, though. Moving to the other side here. Going to the south side, we have sick bay. That's right. Even Klingons need healing. And even Klingons have doctors to work with. And you can assemble a hypo pack for healing, or do various medical assignments here. Some of these assignments, incidentally, are unique to do inside of the ship interiors. So, you know, it pays sometimes to take a look around these places. The brig, where not too long ago we had that imbecile Franklin Drake inside. And we have an interrogation schedule where we can do duty officer assignments where we have a morning, afternoon, and evening interrogation sessions. But we don't actually have anybody to do these jobs. Security officers. Still, it's a great thought. Okay. I've saved the best for last. The mess hall. And the mess hall has a couple unique areas where you can set up your trophies. Now, there are not a lot of... Oh, it's this. You can actually use the ready room. Well, we're going to do with the mess hall right now. In the floor trophies, you can either have a purchase trophy, which I don't have any of. Trophies from an accolade. Remember, no kill eye. And you see the... here you go. No kill eye with a bunch of the Horta eggs. Fleet actions, which I haven't done with this character. An empty shelf. And incidentally, it was a no-kill eye trophy that I got from Obasek. Why he would have that and refer to that, some things you just don't question. But you also have these wall shelves here, and you can either fill them with accolades, trophies, and again, this character hasn't done enough to get accolades to throw up there, or you can use ships. And the only ones you're going to really find are the ones that were in the game at the time. And for Klingon ships, you really only had up to the basic ships and the Katanko, which was the one new Klingon ship that had come out at the time. And just for giggles, I'm just going to make them all Katingas, because why not? What are they going to do? Tell me no? And this does give me the option to set up trophies in the ready room as well. The ready room really should have had a area to do it by themselves. We're going to make those Katinga too. Now over here you've got a chef, so you can do some food assignments, and some of them will actually unlock some stuff, I think. And over here you've got a bartender, and you can get some drinking stuff, unique stuff again. It varies. And that is the ship interior of the Klingons. Now I'm pretty sure that my interior is a medium-sized interior. The small ones, they're all pretty much the same. It's just a question of how long the hallways are. I got a few more missions that wrapped, so we're going to collect those. We're going to zap ourselves to Kronos. And we're going to do one more thing. Because I meant to do this before, but I kept sidetracking myself. Anything I can do here? Not much. I'll just grab whatever assignments I can. Because remember, successful duty assignments mean successful experience points. Ooh, and a couple bridge officer assignments. Always happy to try to get bridge, especially after that fiasco with the purple one I got. Not, yeah, the purple guy I got. Man, that really stung. So we're going to get close enough to Kronos to beam down. And we're going to go back to First City. Going to the city. And while we're not going to do anything about what well, nothing specific, but I do want to show something in the Great Hall. Or, to be more precise, someone in the Great Hall. And it's not this guy, who's a security officer. Security officer is pretty handy because you can turn over contraband, and the reward for it is, count it, 2,000 dilithium. That ain't bad. Now, if I had a bunch of prisoners, I could put some people to labor battalions here. But I don't have anywhere near enough prisoners to do that. And if I do that, I'll get 1,000 dilithium. But I would need 10 prisoners, and I don't have 10 prisoners. Over here is that's the TAS. The Gorn Ambassador, he's fun. And then we have this fellow, and he's the guy I've come here to see. Lieutenant Khan, Temporal Intelligence.
Pla, what do you require from Klingon temporal intelligence?
And here's the big reason. And I'm not going to do this stuff tonight here, but I just want to point that out here. I'm going to leave the character right here so that next week, the first thing I'll do is chat with this guy, because I'll be able to access a bunch of rewards I've gotten from previous recruit assignments. And we'll grab the stuff that I feel are most appropriate. There might not be much, honestly. I even have one from the Klingon for that bird of prey, the tier 6 bird of prey, which I'm not using with this character because T6 battlecruiser. But my Delta recruit and my Temporal recruit have a bunch of stuff. My Gamma recruit, not so much. One day I should actually grab my Gamma recruit character and get a little more hardcore with him and finish up some of the stuff on there. Someday. And that is going to do it for tonight. I hope you will join me next week when we continue the adventures, the saga of Zidane. It'll happen at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, Wednesday night. And it'll end approximately 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern. But, much like tonight, sometimes it goes a little long. I also do a stream for Star Citizen on Saturday afternoons. There is the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo kicking off this week, and I will be going through a couple of the showrooms there. There's a free flight event going on there too, so if you have any interest in that game, or you just want to see what it's like, come join me on Saturday at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern to approximately 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern. I hope everyone has enjoyed watching, whether you are watching live or on YouTube or the Twitch archive for as long as it lasts. Thank you all very much for watching. This is Korath Landwalker, signing off.